Price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I am your host, Afro Elite. Before we get started on tonight's video, I want to ask you guys, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. Also, leave a thumbs up and share this on your various social media platforms or to a family or friend, because that helps the reach and growth of the channel. For all of what you guys do to help this channel and just watching this channel in general, thank you all very much. We know in this country, Black people just can't get left alone, especially foundational Black Americans. We've been working, we've been striving, we've been overcoming obstacles, we've been doing all of the things that they quote unquote tell us that you have to do in this country to be successful. But yet every time we do that, despite the fact that it's not harming anybody, you have members of the oppressor class that comes in to try to sabotage, to try to mess up what we have going on. That's happened ever since we got to this land. And for the ones that have gotten here, a lot of us have been here ever since they got here, I'm gonna say that, and all of the time in between up until the present day. They tell us, pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. If you guys would just work hard, if you guys would just get educated and get a job and stop being lazy and stop relying on the government and all of that stuff. The reason why there's such a huge racial wealth gap is not because of the fact that we've already had centuries head start and the fact that we're oppressing you guys to prevent you guys from gaining and building wealth. It's the fact that you guys are just lazy and you guys don't want to work like us because we're just so hardworking. That's what they tell you. But then when you look at certain situations, you see for a fact Black people are not lazy whatsoever. Okay, we in this country, we built this country. We're the hardest working people in this country and in the world. If we're going to be honest, we're the hardest working people in the world, and nobody can tell me anything different. But the thing is that what keeps us from becoming successful the way we are supposed to is because we live in a country, really in the whole world, that has an anti-Black stigma, and we overcome that and we strive past that. We work past that. But then when that doesn't work, and all of the generational wealth advantages that they have, when that doesn't work, they literally physically go to us in our business, in our spaces, in our businesses, and they sabotage it. Just like this situation right here with the Black farmers. Okay, this article comes from arcrepublic.com. It says, "Get out. Black Colorado Rangers face domestic terrorism by local whites who say they are trying to steal their land." Okay, this is in 2023. We're supposed to be in this post-racial society. As long as we quote unquote work hard, let them tell it, they'll leave us alone and they don't bother anybody. But this is what happens when Black people are successful. When we're doing something successful, they hate that, they fear that, and they go out of their way to mess it up. And I'm just saying that off of the title alone. But let's actually read the article. It starts off saying a Black couple rebuilt their lives after losing everything in a hurricane. They never thought they'd be thrown into a fight for their range and possibly their lives in a predominantly white and hostile Colorado country. Listen, this is my message. I'm not trying to victim blame, but this is my message to this Black family. Okay, you have to understand, we live in a world that has waged war against Black people. You have to, so, and that's everywhere in the world. You have to understand that, okay? Especially in America, and then especially in places that are predominantly white. That's just what it is, okay? And it's best for you to realize that so you can adapt to your environment accordingly. And I'm not saying that if they were conscious, this wouldn't have happened, but I'm saying that the whole, oh, I never would have expected this, I never saw this coming, we see that happening time and time again. Okay, if you do not understand the system of white supremacy, everything else you understand will only confuse you. This is why it is important for you to understand this system of white supremacy, because when you understand that, you understand why people react the way they do and do the things that they do. Okay, let's continue. Every night on Freedom Arcs Range is a gamble of life and death by cattlemen Courtney W. Mowry, and his wife Nicole. As of late, he most likely will find tools destroyed, a prize cattle stolen, or one of his hogs with their entrails spewing from split bellies. Beheaded and butchered goats, castrated, are a common sight. Recently, his newly born calf vanished. Not long ago, the mother of his Pyrenees puppy was poisoned along with several pigs. Often he picks up animal remains on the farm and has had to put out fires like when the chicken coop was set ablaze. But I just want to say this stuff happens to black businesses all of the time. And we say it all the time. And all the time it gets ignored, it gets blown off. Oh my God, you guys are tripping. You guys are listen very carefully. We as black society, we pretty much know when mysterious items, equipment, and things like that, when they just go missing, when cattle just ends up beheaded, when coops catch on fire, we know who's doing that. And I can almost guarantee you that this family has gone to the authorities multiple times, and the authorities said, okay, well, we'll do an investigation, and they don't do anything. And this happens to black people, not just farmers, but this happens to black people all around the country, and it's been happening to black people because this country cannot make it the way it is. Its foundation is anti-black racism, and it cannot survive without its foundation. And the dominant society members, they all know this. So when they see a black business that's not struggling, that's actually making it, that's actually persevering and being successful, mind you, this family said that they lost everything during a hurricane. Okay, that can you imagine how hard it is to have a you and your wife, y'all build something, y'all have a business, a house, and all of that stuff, and a hurricane just comes and takes that all away, and you don't have anything, and then you have to rebuild that. A lot of people don't even recover from that when that stuff happens to them. But this family did. This family is got a farm and they're recovering from it and everything. They're persevering. Now, America always tells black people, oh, if you guys would just pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, if you guys would just work hard like everybody else, then you wouldn't have anything to complain about. There wouldn't be a racial wealth gap. You are poor because it's your fault and you're lazy. But when you see black people who are the hardest working people, nobody can tell me different. But when you see black people who persevere past all of the obstacles that are put upon them, the dominant society's oppressor class goes out of their way to sabotage that. And this happens all of the time. This is not a one-off. This, I promise you, this is not a one-off. This happens in the farms. This happens in rural areas, big cities, all of that stuff, vandalism, all of that stuff. Okay, this happens too often, and the media barely reports about it. And the police officers, the law enforcement, don't do anything. To make the situation more tenuous, the Maori's fence has been damaged over 10 times. Frequently, they must replace surveillance equipment after they see strangers pointing a device towards the camera, which help them jam them and taking out the signal. Plus, their electricity lines have been cut and neighbors have stolen their well water by running illegal lines from their source. Okay. What are the cops doing about these thieves? And they know who's doing it. They know who's doing it. It's the people in the local area. They just admitted the fact that they know the neighbors are up to doing that stuff. But over 10 times, they've had to replace their fence or repair their fence. Nothing gets done about it. Continuing, one day, Courtney was chased by a white man when repairing a portion of his fence. The aggressor, who was in a car, gunned for Courtney, who made it to his vehicle in just enough time to dash away in a hellish pursuit. Once he made it to the end of his property, the man scurried the other way. One evening, Nicole was followed by a white woman who almost ran her off the road, then put on high beams and pulling out what looked like a gun. These people, man. The confrontation was exceptionally unnerving because Nicole was returning from a church function with her visiting nieces and nephew. Man. Once or twice a week, Strange white people drive slowly by their ranch, stop and take pictures or video, and sometimes brandish their guns at them. The couple is frequently followed, especially while they are in town. As a result, they rarely travel and are mindful of what time. Clearly, they are unwanted. Listen, I understand that you live in a place that doesn't have a lot of black people, so you're not going to have a lot of black backup. And I understand that when it comes to self defense, that doesn't work really when it comes to black people when they say they do things in self defense. Okay. Uh, because they it works with them, it don't work with us. Even though we're supposed to have just as much right to self defense as everybody else, we don't. I get that. My thing is this. I'm gonna tell you this about me personally. I have not been in that situation, but me personally, I'd be damned if I'm sitting up there cowering because some white folks is terrorizing me. I just and some white hillbilly trailer park trash is terrorizing me and following me. I wish you would come on my property. Game over, especially based off of the fact that I told police multiple times. Okay, so they have a record of all of those times. So if we do got to go to court for your untimely demise, then I have all of this times when I went to the police, I went to law enforcement, I told them what happened. They wouldn't let that happen. These people been following me, almost ran me off the road, my wife off the road, pointing a gun at me and all that stuff. Oh, I fear for my life. I got to do what I have to do. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh man, it's getting dark. Let's get home. Like you live in some type of sundown town. That's me. That's me. Okay. And more black people need to be like that. Wherever you go, you need to be the fact that, hey, man, I'm going to leave you alone. You mess with me, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a big problem. You're not going to be just breaking my fence 10 times and I'm just like, oh my God, got to repair it. No, you hit my fence, you damaged my fence. That's it. When I repair that, I'm repairing that. There's going to be some canines on the farm or wherever the case is. It's going to be a big problem. You keep messing with me and you keep messing with my family. That's what these people need to do. Okay, all that, it was really unnerving because I just left church. That kind of gives me the whole turn the other cheek forgiveness stuff. I don't know how old this family is, but they need to get off that. They need to get off that right now. Okay, their lives literally depend on them stepping up and them going for broke when it comes to these. I'm gonna say suspected white supremacy, even though it's pretty much white supremacy. Listen, the thing is that they know who to try. They get a feel of the type of black person that you are before they do something. They're crazy, don't get me wrong, but they're not crazy and reckless with it. Okay, they do it to the black people that they feel are easy targets. That is the thing. That is why it is very, very important for you to make sure and everywhere you go, you are not an easy target. No matter where you are, no matter who you're around, or if you have people with you, whatever the case is, make sure you are not an easy target. Not just by being prepared and knowing your surroundings, but make sure when people challenge you, when they do a little stuff, because what they start doing is they'll start like messing with the gates and messing with the fences and stuff like that. And then when they see you don't really do too much about that, then they move on to, okay, now we're stealing your equipment. Now we're slaughtering your cattle and burning down your chicken coops and stuff like that. All of that stuff, it escalates. It always escalates because when it's at its first level, you don't put an immediate stop to it. This is why you have to be the type of black person so where when the dominant society comes at you, they know, okay, we can't try them. That family over there, they about that business. They don't want to play no games with us. We ain't not about to play no games with them. You got to let them know, even if you're the only black person in town or in the region, wherever you might be, you got to let, especially if you're the only black person, to be honest, you got to really let them know, like, hey, I'm not about to play no games with y'all. I'm not about to be building this fence 10 damn times. I'm not about to be putting out fires. If I put out this fire, y'all gonna have to put out a fire. That's that type of energy that you need to be on. And when you come with that energy, when you have that energy and that presence about you, they won't mess with you. But let's get back into the article. Even the post office worker asks us why we're here, says Courtney. um, if man, listen, I would immediately tell that post office worker to mind they damn business. You don't ask me why we're here. You give me my mail and you leave. That's what you do. Ask us why are you here? Man, look, don't let these folks try, yo. Don't let these folks try it. And continuing, a regular phrase told to Courtney is that, quote, he has a lot of balls to purchase land in the mostly white community. Look, man, I don't like that. Don't be telling me that. Oh, you got a lot of balls, man. Look, don't listen. You got to be. I'm telling you, family. You got to be the type of person that they scared to step to. They scared to make it because it starts off like this. Starts off them making like slick comments. You gotta let them know, like, hey, I don't tolerate those slick comments. Those little, nah, I don't tolerate. Oh, you got a lot of ball, man. Shut up. Quote: what puts me on edge is that everyone knows us and how we look, but we don't know them. Courtney tells Arc Republic. Man, look, that ain't gonna be a problem. I don't have to know what you look like. If you fit the description, that's all that matters to me. Fit the description, and I ain't gonna say it on YouTube, but you better not fit the description around my vicinity. Continuing, this is just one of the reports of terror the Houston transplant says the family has experienced since the purchase of the 1,000-acre ranch in El Paso County, Colorado in August 2020. Courtney Marley alleges he and his wife have been the target of local whites who want them off their land. Quote, it's like I'm being tormented for doing God's work, says Marley, who is exhausted because his family has not slept for months from keeping night watches. And to the everyday toll of keeping an active ranch, they are constantly repairing the damage done on to the ranch. Listen, okay, I don't want to hear, I hate to hear stories of black families having to go through this. It's already bad enough being a black farmer because you get sold bad seeds and you don't get the resources that the white farmers, you don't get that. Okay, so it's already bad enough when it comes to that. Then you have these people coming in and they're messing with you, they're sabotaging you, almost about to delete you because the situation with his wife, running his wife off the road. I mean, listen, my message to the family, y'all got to go for broke when it comes to that type of situation. And I'm not advocating no type of violence. All I'm advocating for is self-defense. That is 100% what I'm advocating for. You have a God-given right, first off, to defend yourself and your family, and you have a legal right to defend yourself and your family. It's what do you think they're gonna stop at burning the chicken coop? Next is gonna be your house with you inside. So no, we're not playing that game. When they start messing with the fence, you put cameras out there, you get dogs out there. Once you get that, and once you set your stuff up, you got night watches. So that means that people can come and see. Night watches, they come up to the fence, bam, just start firing at them, start busting at them. Even if it's just warning shots, just let them know you're not to be tried. You are not to be played with. And they're going to back off. The thing is that these people who do stuff like this, they face no consequences. They're not sure, they damn sure not facing no consequences by the law enforcement. And unfortunately, the family, y'all don't seem to be giving them much consequences either. So they feel like they can just do whatever they want to do. And that's why they're doing it. It's almost like they're being incentivized because who's going to stop them? You guys got to be the ones to stop them. You guys got to be the ones to put y'all foot down and be all like, hey, put a no trespassing sign. So I warned y'all trespass is over with for y'all, and let them know. Okay, you want to play the burn some stuff down game? I can play that game too. I'm on the same energy you on. And they gonna back off because they're scared when they recognize that black people are like that. That's why they only try certain black people that they see are easy targets. These are very cowardly people. They only try people that are the people that they try are pretty much in these categories of people. Mostly they try elderly people, and I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm assuming that this family is kind of elderly. They try elderly people, they try women, and they try children. They don't really and when they do try black men, notice they don't ever just one-on-one a black man. It's a whole gang of them jumping on a black man. To be honest, they don't even really do that to a black woman either. It's not like a white woman versus a black woman. It's a whole gang of them doing that. They always gang up, or they always have some type of weapon on them or something like that. They're too cowardly to face us like straight up. So they always have some type of advantage with them. You have to, as a black person, especially with resources and property and stuff, you got to be the type of black person who does not tolerate any of that. You've worked too hard to have them ruin that because they're insecure that you are not failing. You cannot do that, okay? So my message to the family, I'm sorry for what you guys are going through, but y'all need to really put y'all foot down. Instead of them saying, oh my God, I'm scared to go out at nighttime, you need to be like, they need to be scared to go out at nighttime. That's what needs to happen. And it's also important that these types of stories get out there, because this is the antithesis of their argument when they talk about, well, if you only work hard and if you pull yourselves up by your bootstraps and just be a law-abiding citizen who studies and go to school, you'll make it in America. This is not the case, okay? These are law-abiding citizens to the very T, and they're being harassed and they're being sabotaged and undermined. And we have several cases that are almost in pretty much exactly identical to this right here, okay? So the whole pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, that's a lie, okay? That's not the case when it comes to black people, foundation black Americans specifically, okay? So we know that's not the case. So this is why it's important for us to get these stories out here. But I don't want to hear these stories. What I want to hear is, yeah, y'all was doing that. The black family got fed up and they ended the problem. That's what I need to hear next time I report on a story like this. But family, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. You can also follow me on my social media pages, which is at Afro Elite on Instagram and at The Afro Elite on Twitter. Please, before you guys go, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. Also, leave a thumbs up and share this to a family or friend and on your various social media platforms, because that really does help the reach and growth of the channel. Thank you guys for watching and all of what you do. And with that being said, brothers and sisters, be one salute to you all. You all have a good one.